Okay, welcome back to members of 121 Community Church in Grapevine, Texas, and our ongoing study in the Pioneer Ranch trilogy by Reine. We're going to look at Volume 2, pages 117 to 139. Let's go to Block 1 and we'll get started. Atonement is an eschatological walk. Atonement as sacrifice, as promise, as gift. Atonement as sacrifice, we just have to remember back to the ceremony where they cut the wound of Christ in the left hand and then offered blood into the fire of sanctification. Then promise that came from Father Gabriel that atonement will come and must be appropriated. Remember, he said it had to be appropriated. And then the gift is definitely the scene of the watch, which represents Kairos time, the time of atonement, given to Gideon by Peyton. When she has received nothing but bitterness and rebellion, she offers a gift of Kairos time, time of atonement, to Gideon. So that is the threefold picture of atonement we have. And then we go to the Fort Worth competition where Bryce is competing in show jumping. And Bryce is grooming Big Red, and Peyton stands near. And she thanks her mother for the gift of Big Red. She has a very thankful spirit. We love Bryce. Back in Peyton's hotel room, she receives a large gold box delivered to the room with a phrase of poetry attached to it. She knows this has got to be from Ashton. And, of course, it is from Ashton. And it's a smoking hot red designer dress for her to wear. And it's in Peyton's perfect size. Everything is perfect on it. Peyton then leaves the hotel room. She joins Royce and Kelsey and Bryce. And Bryce is all decked out in her competition colors of red and white. But she sees her mom walking toward her and she goes, "Whoa, look at you." Mom's never looked so good. So she said, "Look at you." Kelsey, we're told, indulges himself on all the wrong foods. He has a bad health condition, but he lets himself go when he's not under the supervision of Laylee. And then Margot, of all people, Margot, Lexi's daughter, shows up. She's now 39 years old, divorced again, and very sultry and sexy as ever. And Margot is there to meet up with Coda. And then we're told it is competition time and Bryce is ready to go and compete. So this section of the book is all about resolving rift in unity. Atonement is the restoration of union. And so under atonement, it is an eschatological walk. It's a walk that always involves a step of faith. Coda arrives, and of course Ashton is with him. And Ashton and Peyton go for a walk. Ashton tells Peyton that he still has her mother's painting, The Last Start. And it is a visual representation of atonement as an eschatological walk. That's what it is. It shows the old self, deceased, in a room. Then it shows the spirit of the person standing at the open doorway that leads to resurrection life, that leads to eternity. So it's a painting of the dying to the old self, and then the looking out toward the eschatological walk of the new self, of the spiritual self. And Ashton tells Peyton that he still has that painting by her mother, the last start. The competition begins. Peyton tells Ashton that parenthood has really challenged her. Bryce ends up doing a perfect run, absolutely perfect run, and Ashton tells Peyton that he has looked up both Hanovi and Ricky, her adopted children. He's looked them both up. He's spent time with both of them. So Ashton has been involved with her children, even though she never knew about it. Let's go on to block 2, and we're going to take a look at atonement. So again, the theme of this particular portion of the book is atonement, to heal the union that has become separated, that has created a rift. And how do we restore that union between people? It's restored through atonement. So we look in block 2, Bryce, after her completed competition, she hears from Ashton that she has her mother's features, her mother's sweetness. But Bryce says, well, what about my mother's warrior spirit? That's what matters to her. The concept of warrior spirit is what matters to Bryce. Like I say, we love Bryce. I mean, I just love Bryce. Very, very thankful person. Very risk-taking. She's an athlete. I love that about her. She's an athlete. Peyton tells her, you exceed me in every way. So Mom builds her up. Don't worry about that warrior spirit. You've got that for sure because you exceed me in every way. Atonement addresses voids in one's life. Atonement addresses wholeness concerning one's life. Bryce confesses that the win is not what can make her whole or feel whole. Ashton confesses, some voids last forever. Privately, Peyton tells Ashton that Bryce is suffering heartbreak right now, but she will heal in time. So now we look at walking through the realm of warrior spirit. Walking through the realm of warrior spirit. Bryce decides to stay in the hotel room and not go out to dinner with Ashton and her mother. Peyton encourages her, you will heal. You must strive to lead a meaningful and creative life and to savor existence. She tells her daughter that the most important thing is to lead a meaningful and creative life. And we agree with her completely on that, absolutely. And she also tells her daughter that it's not just her daughter that is on that journey, but Peyton herself is on the same journey. So they both need a little bit of healing, and they both need to seek a meaningful and creative life. She goes, we're both on this journey. You're not on this journey alone. I'm on the same journey. She's feeling a separation from Adler that she wants to resolve through atonement. Let's go into block 3. Okay, block 3. the meaningful and the creative life. The world of special gifts. At dinner, Peyton asks Ashton where he is getting this information about her. And he tells her that Gideon was introduced to him. So Peyton then adds that Gideon's father, Adler, is a phenomenal man and possesses very special gifts. Ashton tells Peyton that Gideon wants to be viewed as a prince. Yeah, he's very much all about surface reality, isn't he? He's very shallow. Gideon is someone who wants to be viewed as a prince. Gideon, thus far, we haven't seen any depth of character in Gideon, and Ashton says he didn't really recognize any either. How does one acquire that perfect life? Peyton confesses that Ashton has never really been entirely out of her life, never been entirely out of her memory. And Ashton says that he has always seen some of Peyton framed in Hanovi's canvases. Peyton says Hanovi has visions. And Ashton says, I don't believe in visions, but I do believe in the possibility of redemption. Atonement and the possibility of redemption. Peyton confesses that she is not happy in her marriage right now. Ashton can see that. Ashton then pulls up images of his divorce papers on a smartphone to show Peyton that he is getting a divorce. It is for real. And that even after the divorce, he will still be worth billions. Good grief. Even after the divorce, he will still be worth billions. He will still be a billionaire. And then the painting of the last start comes up again. Ashton brings up the topic of the painting by Harlow of the last start, and Peyton pulls it up in her memory because it's really what's happening right now with her. She's at an open doorway. She's dying to the old self and looking for rebirth and a new walk of spirit, a new walk of atonement and redemption. I should say she's dying to the old self in atonement and looking for a new walk of redemption in the spirit. And that painting by Harlow, her mother, is a perfect image of that quest. So I think the theme here is very important to us. And what we have to remember is that from here on out to the remainder of the volume, the theme of the novel is going to be atonement and reconciliation and redemption and the restoration of important unions that have been damaged, that have a rift between them now. Peyton needs to resolve the rift that has been created between herself and Adler. Peyton also wants to restore and create a deeper union with her son Gideon. She doesn't want to lose him. She truly loves him. She offered him a very precious gift in that watch that had belonged to her father, the watch and ring. And that was an act of atonement. So we've got that theme with Peyton and Gideon, that rift that needs to be healed. And so really the remainder of the novel is going to be about how does one fulfill that quest for atonement. How does one fulfill that request and that quest for a redemptive, significant redemption that can heal fragmentation? For the remainder of the novel, the theme will be atonement through the realm of the warrior spirit. That title to Block 2, that is our new theme for the remainder of the novel. So it's very, very powerful and very, very meaningful. But what I really love is the symbolism here. Because in that ceremony that they all went through, what they do? They wounded their left palm with the wound of Christ. And then they squeezed out a blood sacrifice into the fire of what? Sanctification. The fire that purges and cleanses and sanctifies. Very strong imagery. And then the words from Father Gabriel telling Peyton that atonement will come. It will come. And you will need to look for that when it opens up, because it must be appropriated. And then Peyton taking a very bold step and offering the gift of grace, the watch of Kairos time, which is what? The opportune time of atonement that she gave to Gideon out of love that expects nothing in return, truly as a gift of grace, truly as a sacrificial gift of grace. So we have some very powerful symbols that we're looking at here, and I'd appreciate that. Reine does that quite often. Reine brings us very powerful symbolism, and she brings up very strong existential concepts that address the very structure of our being and what it means to be a genuine, loving, and caring and thankful human being. So that's going to wrap up this portion of the novel, 117 to 139, that dealt primarily with the theme of atonement. This section of the novel introduced us to, drew us into an in-depth look at the symbolism of atonement and the quest for atonement. So we will pick up next time in 137 to 157. 137 to 157 next time. That wraps up a very powerful portion of the novel on the quest for atonement.